Today I have the privilege of introducing a student who models the Warhawk spirit of service. Joe Balistreri arrived at UW-Whitewater already carrying the discipline of the Wisconsin National Guard and a family legacy of Wisconsin higher education excellence. But Joe didn't just attend classes, he helped transform our community. From serving as a dedicated resident assistant to advocating for his peers in student government, to his role with the faith-based Evolve Whitewater Ministry Organization, Joe's mission has been simple yet powerful: to be a bridge. Whether through his military role as a victim advocate or his leadership in the Boxes and Bridges initiative, he has consistently helped others navigate their most pivotal moments. Joe says that Whitewater is a campus that cares, and he certainly proved it through his words and actions. Please join me in welcoming a servant leader, a future MBA candidate, and your 2026 student speaker, Joe Balistreri.
Good morning, Warhawks. Chancellor King, faculty, staff, families, and friends, thank you all for being here today. This field house is full of people who made it. And I don't just mean the ones in caps and gowns. I mean the ones who drove us to campus for the first time and tried not to cry on the way home. The ones who answered the phone at midnight. The ones who kept this university running so we could focus on becoming who we were meant to be. And just like we did a moment ago, because some things are worth saying more than once, thank you. Thank you, all of those who are here today and who are working right now, who have directly and indirectly helped us arrive at this very moment. You know, when I think about what actually carried us through the hardest moments of college, it was never just willpower. It was people, every single time. Someone who saw where you were stuck and helped you get to the other side. And that is what a bridge does. And in my life, the people who did that for me, they didn't just help me, they became a bridge. And the more I think about it, the more I believe that is what Whitewater has been teaching us all to become. Not just graduates, but bridges. I didn't take the straightest road to this university. When I first stepped foot on campus, I served in the Wisconsin Air National Guard. The military taught me discipline, teamwork, and how to stay calm when there was chaos around you. But it was here at Whitewater where I discovered something that I didn't in the military. And that something is how to sit with someone in their struggle and to simply be present. How to listen, not to fix, but to understand. Since day one, something about this place felt like it was waiting for me. My family has deep roots in the Wisconsin system. My grandfather earned his master's degree right here at this very university. And my father, he earned his master's at UW-Stout. I grew up hearing their stories about what campus life meant to them and how it shaped who they've become. So when I got to Whitewater, I wasn't just starting my own chapter. I was continuing a tradition. And a belief that runs through my family is that this system, these universities, they don't just give you a degree. They help build who you are. During my time here, I served in student government, first as a senator, then as the director of student affairs. That work put me across the table from administrators to carry the voice of students who weren't in the room. Students who were frustrated, students who felt invisible, students who just wanted to know that someone was listening. And that experience taught me something that I will carry forward the rest of my life. That representation isn't about just speaking for people. It's about making sure that they are heard. And I believe that that difference matters. Now, I want to be honest with you, because I believe that transparency matters more than hiding behind the illusion of perfection. There were times where I didn't know if I'd make it to graduation. I failed. and I've doubted myself. I've sat in my room thinking if I was enough. And I know I'm not the only one in this room who's ever felt that way. So if you're sitting right now with a cap on your head and a weight still weighing on you from something that you went through here, I want to share with you something that took me too long to learn. And that is, failure is not the verdict. It is the preparation. Every setback, every semester that felt like it might break you, those weren't the things holding you back. They were building you, quietly and visibly, but building you all the same. And the fact that you're sitting in this room right now is the proof. Now, not two people in this room got here the same way. Some of you took 4 years, some took longer, some finished early. Some of you are walking with your bachelor's, and some with your master's. And some of you changed your major 3 times. Some of you worked 2 jobs while carrying a full course load. Some of you almost didn't come back after freshman year. And some of you thrived from day one and made it look easy even when it wasn't. You know, our stories are different, but I want you to know that that is exactly the point. Because what connects us isn't that we walked the same path. It's that we all walked our own and we kept going. And the details belong to each of us, but the meaning is shared. And that shared meaning, that is the bridge. It's not a bridge that we cross, but it's a bridge we became. Think about it. You became a bridge without even knowing it. You noticed someone sitting alone in the dining hall and pulled up a chair. You stayed up late helping a classmate understanding the material, not for extra credit, but because it mattered. You were there at 1 a.m. on the couch when someone needed to talk and didn't know who else to call. Those moments will never appear on a transcript, but they are the most important things that you did here. And they're the reason I believe Class of 26 is something special. Before I close, I want to leave you with this. We walked into this university carrying doubts, hopes, fears, and a dream that we couldn't quite name yet. But somewhere between the late nights, the early mornings, between the failures and the breakthroughs, between the moments we wanted to quit and the people who wouldn't let us, we became something. We became grateful for the people who showed up for us when we didn't even know how to ask. We became resilient, not because the road was easy, but because we kept going anyways. We became connected, not by having the same story, but by carrying each other through different ones. And we became ready for a world that needs exactly who we have become. Here is what I believe with everything in me. The diploma you receive says you're finished, but the person wearing this cap was built on every hard night, every failure, and every morning that you got back up anyway. That is the real education, and it doesn't end here. So here is what I'm asking of you. When you leave this field house, carry all of it with you. The wins, the losses, carry it all, because it made you who you are. And when somebody in your life, whether a friend, a coworker, a stranger, is standing in the middle of their own hard chapter, be the person Whitewater taught you to be, the bridge. You don't need a title. You don't need permission. You just need to remember what it felt like when someone showed up for you, and go and do that for someone else. Now go. Carry what you've built. Keep moving forward. Keep getting back up and be the bridge for someone else. And never forget, you are a Warhawk, and that means something. It always will. Congratulations, Class of 26. I'm so proud of every single one of you, and the best is still ahead. Thank you.